Long ago in China, they say, there was a widow who had 3 daughters, Felice, Maylene, and Jean. And when the widow had to go for a trip, for their old grandmother was very ill, she told Felice, the oldest of the daughters, "Now, close the door after me and lock it. Let no one inside. I've heard there's a wolf prowling around." Felice promised. And the 3 girls, after their mother left, locked the door carefully. And they went on to playing, singing songs and dancing there in the house. It wasn't long before there was a knock at the door. "Who is it?" said Felice. It's your grandmother." "Granny, Mom just went to visit you." "Oh, I must have missed her," said the voice. Well, why is your voice so strange?" said Felice, who noticed a lot. "Well, I've got this terrible cold, you see. Why don't you let me inside? It's so drafty out here. Besides, I brought your favorite treats." "Really?" said the girls, and they unlocked the door. The person who said it, that they were the grandma, pushed open the door and blew out the candle so it was dark. The girls couldn't quite tell that that person wearing old woman's clothes was not exactly a person. The grandma, at least that's who she said she was, sat down in a chair, and Mei Ling and Jean sat down on her lap. "Grandma, it is so nice to have you here." But this person was really the wolf. The wolf said, "Oh, what plump children you are. You must be well taken care of by your mother." "Well, it's getting late now. I think it's time for everyone to go to sleep," said the wolf in Grandma's clothing. And so the girls hopped in to the big wide, double-wide bed. And when Grandma climbed in, something was odd. Jean's toes touched the wolf's tail, hidden under the skirts when she was walking around. Grandma, why is there something brushy down by my feet?" Oh, that's just a hairbrush I carry with me to keep things clean, that's all. Don't worry about that." And Jean touched her grandma's hands and noticed there were sharp claws and fur. "Grandma, why is there fur and sharp nails and claws on your hands?" "Oh, those are my gloves. I have some special furry gloves I like to wear when it's cold." But when Felice lit the candle for just a moment, before the wolf could blow it out, she saw the wolf's furry face, and she knew she needed a plan. She lay down with her sisters in the same bed as Grandma, or the wolf, and she said, "Grandma, you know, Jean's thirsty. She needs a drink." "Oh, she'll be fine. Just go to sleep, girls. It's late." And then, Felice, being a clever girl, pinched her sister until she cried. And that crying made the wolf angry. He said, Okay, if you're not going to fall asleep, go get a drink of water." And Felice smiled. "Jean, why don't you get a drink of water? And Mei Ling, why don't you help your sister get a drink of water? Sometimes it's hard to pull up that bucket from the well." And the 2 little girls went off to the next room. Felice stayed in the bed with Grandma. And she began thinking of how she would get out. Finally she said, "You know, Grandma, have you ever tasted those wonderful ginkgo nuts way up high in the tree?" "No," said the wolf. "Well, they're wonderful. They're tasty. They're soft and tender like chickens, and taste far better than any kind of cooked meat I've ever tasted." "Really?" said the wolf. You could climb the tree and find out for yourself," said Felice, knowing the wolf wouldn't. Well, why don't you climb the tree and bring them down for me? How's that sound?" That was exactly what Felice wanted. She said, "Of course." And she got up and left the bed and went to the next room, where she whispered to her sisters, what they needed to do. They climbed up the ginkgo tree that was just outside their house, way up to the top, and grabbed onto the branches tight. It wasn't long before the wolf was wondering where they had gone, and came out and said, "Girls, girls, where are you? You should be in bed right now." "Oh, Grandma," said Felice, "we're way up in the tree eating ginkgo nuts." "Oh, throw some down to me," said the wolf. "Well, we can't do that. You see, that Mama says these are magic nuts. If we throw them down, they change into something else, something pokey and smelly and not at all good to eat." "Oh. But if you want to come up here, Grandma, I know you're too old to climb, but, you know, there's a basket over by the back of the house, and there's a big clothesline tied to the end of it. Throw the rope up to us and we'll pull you up." That sounded great to the wolf, who wanted to taste those magical nuts. So the wolf grabbed the basket and threw the rope up to the girls, and Felice began pulling and pulling, got her halfway up, and let go of the rope. Thump! "Ow! Ow! Ow!" said the wolf, because she fell right on a rock. Oh, I'm sorry, Grandma. I am so sorry. I wasn't quite strong enough to get you up. How about Mei Ling and I will both pull you up?" "Okay," said the wolf. Climbed into the basket and they pulled and pulled, got about 3/4 of the way up. The wolf was just about to leap from the basket and grab onto the girls when suddenly Mei Ling sneezed and the basket fell down and BAM! "Ow!" howled the wolf. He felt like maybe he had sprained his leg or maybe even broken it. Oh, Grandma, we are so sorry. All 3 of us will pull this time, and we're sure to get you to the top where we are." The wolf really wanted to eat those ginkgo nuts, and if that wasn't what he was going to eat, at least there'd be 3 girls at the top of the tree he could gobble up. So he said, okay, just be careful this time." And the 3 girls pulled and got the basket so it was almost level with where they were holding on to the tree, when the wolf suddenly opened up his mouth and said, "Now I've got you!" And at that, all 3 girls let go of the rope and BAM! "Grandma? Grandma?" they said, and they heard nothing. So Felice went down first, looking and poking at the black furry thing wearing women's clothing, and it didn't move. So the 3 girls jumped out of the tree and ran into their house and locked the door. And when their mother came back, she saw that dead wolf lying there, dressed as a woman, and asked her children about it. And Felice said, "Well, yes, it's true, the wolf did come, but we took care of him." And that's the end of the story.